The well-dressed gentleman to my right, Kelly's left, Steve Moskowitz, who's here every Thursday.
Always a pleasure.
To explain why we're all going to jail.
Not on my watch.
The topic du jour, at least in the last couple of days, has been, one, a push in Congress to try to legalize or to get rid of the law that prevents extended gambling.
That would be a great idea, and also cuts down on crime. When we were very small children, when New York City allowed off-track betting, that just cut the market for all the bookies, because it used to be there was a very large organization. There was a big police scandal about it, too, where just all the local merchants were the local bookie.
That said, Frank Pallone, who's a congressman from New Jersey, big surprise there, is trying to introduce a bill that would do that. And the NFL and the other sports leagues have sort of always pushed against it. In fact, you know, speaking before Congress against it. Is, in particular, the NHL and the NFL, is their argument now undermined by the fact that they've put teams in in Las Vegas?
I think it is, and we have to get rid of that. Now, they're still holding on, because even in England, the NFL puts that electronic blocking in so they can't do the betting. That's so unrealistic. People are going to bet, so if that's the case, you might as well have it regulated, and I hate to say this, but also taxed.
Go ahead.
Obviously, a lot has to do with the Raiders in particular when it comes to the NFL. And there is kind of a battle that appears to be brewing between the Nevada Gaming Commission and the Raiders and their lease for their new stadium, in which they want to, the Nevada Gaming Commission wants to allow mobile gambling inside the stadium.
Yes.
And the NFL says, we prohibit that. That's against our rules. Now, the Gaming Commission says we decide policy in the state of Nevada. Who's right, and what kind of legal mess could this turn into?
Not to mention the fact in the lease they're not supposed to be doing gambling either. So it's a situation where it's like it's legal to smoke in San Francisco, but in your home you can say there'll be no smoking here, and you would have the final say. That's what's going to happen. In reality, there's going to be a meeting in the back room. Some money is going to change hands, and everybody's going to benefit from it.
So no.
Yeah. It happens.
Santa Claus is dead.
Don't tell kids that.
All right, if I'm at a Raider game, and I want to bet Carolina-Atlanta, I don't even want to bet the game I'm at. Do I just simply leave the immediate confines of the stadium
and
do it on my phone? Or can I literally do it from my seat?
Under the current proposal, you can bet on anything that you could if you're sitting in a casino.
So how's that?
So in other words, the only thing you can't bet on is the game that you're at.
No, you're supposed to be able to go ahead and bet on everything. And again, what they're going to have to do is get in that back room, sign a contract, make it. There's too much money at stake now for somebody to say, you know, we used to do it this way in the old days. This is not the time when the Sox are fixing something in that scandal. My prediction in that back room, they're going to get together, they're going to sign a contract, and then everybody's going to get a piece of the money. That's business, that's contract. That is my bet on this, so to speak.
But currently speaking, unless this happens, the lease policy for the Raiders' new stadium prohibits.
Yes.
So you couldn't sit in your seat with your mobile gaming app and bet on a game.
That's a very interesting question, because the contract is between the landlord and the team, so then there could be an argument, well, wait a minute, you have to police what people are doing, but the contract is not between the landlord and the patrons. Then it's a question, well, does the team have to go ahead and police and say, wait, what's on your phone there, Kelly? All that's going to have to be worked out, because there's just too much at stake here, and there's big bucks at stake here, too.
How, I mean, I presume this would be if it goes to court, it would be a state matter, not a federal matter.
I think they would try to remove it to federal court, and the Supremes may even want to step in here. And again, we're looking at some real old rules, and it's just not the way things are done now. My prediction will be it's going to happen, and I think the feds could go in and make it happen. Because if it doesn't, it's going to be worse.
Okay, then, so what's the disadvantage for the NFL in having it remain in state court, in a state jurisdiction?
Because you have so many crossing the state lines. You have people coming in from other states. You have people living in other places. You have people eventually going to say, well, wait a minute, how come I can't gamble someplace else? We're going to have an expansion. But this is definitely something that the feds are needing. It shouldn't be you're fighting something in New Jersey you can't do there, but you can do it in Las Vegas. That's where the feds come in and say, well, wait a minute, it should be the whole way, and it should be the same way in the whole country.
And real fast before we let you go, would any precedent set for the NFL, would that be binding on the NHL? Would that have to be renegotiated?
The court says it's not binding, but courts like to call it persuasive.
Okay, so if the NFL finally said, okay, we'll let you do that, then
the NHL is going to follow right along.
Okay.
Most importantly, how can I get a cut? That's all I want to know.
Talk to me after the show.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Kelly gets rich,
Always
I
a
get
pleasure.
drunk.
Always
Exactly.
a pleasure. There you go.
Works out
Something for
perfectly.
everyone.